All right, guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Cody Groom. Today we got the E92 M3 and the G82 M4. Oh my God! Two very different cars, but this is 10 years apart of BMW. BMW's got a lot to live up to. Obviously, this is no longer an M3 because you have the M3 and the M4 variation, but this is the closest thing we have to this. The grille alone is 3 times the size. Today, I want to see how these two cars drive. Do I hate this? Do I love it? Versus my E92 M3. I've had this for 3 years, and I just want to see how BMW has changed over the past 10 years. I think the styling of these two are very different, but there are some different lines that you see match up with each other. There's some lines that go down the rear of the car that look pretty similar, but BMW added a lot of stuff with this that I don't really agree on. There's a lot of funky lines. I'm not sure I really like these little indents right there versus the hood bump over there. That was just kind of that classic sign of an M car. You could tell a 335, apart from the M3, by the hood bump, the wider fenders, those little things. I'm someone that likes a simpler look, even though some people may consider my E92 M3 not simple. I like looks that add a little bit to it, but not so much over the top that all you see is the look or everything just stands out. So, the E92 M3. Now, this is a car that I've had for 3 years, and I've thoroughly drove it, I've modified it, I've enjoyed it, and so I'm gonna have a little bias here, and that's a problem, but I'll just let you guys know ahead of time. I mean, I love this car. I think BMW did an amazing job with the E92 M3. I mean, the sound alone. This car still feels way more capable than I feel like I am as a driver. Like, I am not pushing this to the point where I feel like having something more refined, I'd be faster through this. Maybe we're on a track, sure. You know, I think people would have mixed opinions on that side, but through a canyon, it's a pretty damn fast car. It feels planted, it feels good. I'm only running a KW height adjustable spring kit and nothing done to the motor. This is the dual clutch, and we do have a 6-speed at the M4, but I think a big part of these two cars is just going to be how they feel through this. It just feels incredibly refined, even for 2011. Oh my God. Woo! I think the thing about this car that BMW has been chasing ever since is just that raw feeling. Like, this was never a car that was gonna beat cars in a straight line. It was gonna be a car that you were gonna be like, oh, well, I'll beat you through the canyons and I'll sound good while I'm doing it. I think this car spoils in a lot of ways, right? It sounds good, it looks good, and it drives good as well. If we could go back in time, what would we want BMW actually to make as the successor to the E92. What would be the car that would have been the new E46, but of, you know, this era? Like, thinking about this, I don't really know what they could have done different. I mean, if they would have slapped a V in the F80, would people have, you know, thoroughly enjoyed that car and be like, damn, BMW did it again? Or would it feel like it was like an M5? I don't know. I guess where I'm going with this is a hard car to top. They can't keep making a car like the E46. It's too small. So you start to think like, okay, it's got to be practical. So that means it has to be a little bit bigger. It's got to be good on gas. Then all of a sudden, now we got a straight 6 instead. Really, I think consumers killed the M3. They made it into this car that has to be aggressive and crazy and just kind of look really out there to stand out in this world. Like, it can no longer be simple. It's got to be something completely far-fetched, and that's how we ended up with the new M4. All right, so we're in the brand new 2021 M4. It feels a lot different. I mean, the first thing I notice is that it feels way different in size. Like, I can feel that it's a bigger car getting this. I also feel that the steering is so precise. And it is a hell of a lot faster. Jesus Christ. This thing is insane. So I have gear assist on right now, and gear assist basically automatic rev matches for you. And it's nice while we're talking here that I can do that and just have it automatic rev match. Woo! I think the scary part is that it just feels so effortlessly fast. Like, even through the canyons right now, I'm feeling like it's not scary until you're like, oh shit, I'm going 90 miles an hour through the canyons right now. Oh my God. I made a first impressions video, and the first impressions I talked about the sound. I still don't feel like the sound is that great. It's missing something. It's missing something that, I mean, it's not a V8, and I guess you can't expect it to sound like a V8. Don't get mad at me, guys, but it kind of sounds like a sport economy car. Like something that, you know, would be like, it's the sport version of an economy car, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So this thing is not just fast, it handles incredibly well. And just getting out of the 2, I don't necessarily feel more disconnected from this, but I do feel like this has an ease of driving. I don't feel that race car feel that I love from the E92 M3. That, you know, I kind of feel like I'm on the edge of my seat. I more feel like this is fast, it's extremely precise. In other words, we don't have anything that's giving it that like holy factor other than speed. I mean, you start, oh my God. When you're driving this car, you really forget about those grills. Those grills aren't such a big deal because it's just amazing how precise and how well this car handles. It still feels engaging. It doesn't feel like a dead car to me. They want to make everything about not hearing stuff and this and that, and it's kind of taken away from the driving experience. Now this, I can tell it's still pumping in sound out of the speakers, but at least it drives this good. So there's a way different torque delivery here than the E92 for sure. I mean, obviously we're dealing with forced induction versus naturally aspirated. I don't necessarily have to pull second gear. I can stay in third right now and be at lower RPM and still have a ton of power. There's a little bit of lag, but when you're driving through the canyon like this, I mean, I'm sitting at 3,000, so I'm not really feeling any of that lag. Oh my God. So I have custom headlights on my E92, and these even feel like a ripoff of those. Like when you see what OSS Designs are doing or Bay Optics, this looks like what they've been doing, but something about it, I just feel like, again, so much going on with it that it kind of takes away from it. I almost wish they were just a tiny bit simpler. There's a part of me that loves this car for the tech, and a part of me that loves this car for it being simple. I think when you drive these two cars, they're very different. This has a ton of torque down low. This does not, and it feels like you're driving a bigger car. Now, I think this is a product of what people buy. People don't buy the two-seater sports car anymore. They really want the big, super sedan that has 4 seats and all that. Regardless of what Instagram says, YouTube, that's what people buy. So I think this is overall an amazing car. It drives so good through the canyons. It's quick, it's precise, but it feels like a dailyable sports car. So I think the E92 M3 is a driver's car. It's a car enthusiast, it sounds good, it's a little bit obnoxious. Then you come over to this, it's like bridging the gap between the M5 being, a super sedan and that dailyable sports car with a mix of a car that's exceptionally fast. I'm still missing a little bit of BMW's lineage with the E92 though. But I do feel like this is an amazing car that's just a blast to drive if you can get past the grills. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you got something to say, leave me a comment below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.